Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code CFBX on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code CFBX. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20 times in one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by VSiN. Sign up now and save 40% off with their football season special when you use promo code SGP, VSiN.com/subscribe, promo code SGP. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old-fashioned football.
You make this deal right now, you pancake-eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old-fashioned football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you're listening to or who you see if you're watching on YouTube, head on over to youtube.com/old-fashioned football. My name is J Mark. You can find me on the X at JMark Football. You can find us on X at Old Fashioned FB. And before I keep going, I got to bring in my co-host on the pod end in life. Of course, you can call her Mur. Call her Miranda if you want to be all formal and shit. Miranda, Mur. Find her on the X at the Mur Mark. Mur, how you doing today?
Doing great, Justin.
Already put $1 in the swear jar. My bad. It's been a long week. We've had a lot going on.
It's been a very long week. But I'm glad Thursday's here. Tomorrow's Friday. The weekend's going to be good. I have not set my lineups, full disclosure. So we have to wrap this up because I have a lot of lineups to set.
Well, we are a little early at least, so that's good. Yeah, we're kicking it off a little earlier than we originally had it scheduled. Sorry about that. Hopefully it works for you. But yeah, there's games coming up. There's not two tonight, at least on Monday nights. We've been running two, and that's a little hectic getting to. So you think you're going to win this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Right?
I always think I'm going to win.
Do you know who you play in the family league?
I haven't checked. Who do I play?
This guy.
You? Oh, then I'm definitely beating you.
Coming off my first win against Josiah, I gave him quite the beatdown. He cried for 5 days, just recovering now. Just kidding. I'm sure none of that is true, but I squeaked out a win. I did. It was not a beatdown. I squeaked out a win.
Yeah, I beat my dad pretty good.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Not very nice to beat your dad, but you did it. I also wanted to give a quick
competition is fierce.
The competition is fierce. This is a fun family league, but the competition is fierce. Granted, my dad pointed out that there are two teams that drafted 4 quarterbacks. It's a single quarterback league, him and your dad. And both those teams have not won a game yet.
And
they're
both
the only
those teams
ones.
drove me nuts because how many times do I have to say you do not need to draft 4 quarterbacks? How many times have they heard me say that previously? In how many episodes?
Yeah.
And they both drafted 4 quarterbacks.
Yep. Crazy things.
I feel like
there.
they did it just to rile me up. It works.
I also want to give a shout out because we haven't touched base on this, and I feel like we should have. The Keeper's Heart Bowl, the listener league we're running, sponsored by Keeper's Heart. So just shout out real quick, Team Jared sitting at 3-0, and we'll talk about Jared in just a second here. Zach, our buddy Zach Avello, longtime listener from the beginning, I believe, sitting at 3-0, and our other longtime listener, Cody Zeeb, sitting at 3-0. So, and there are 0-3 teams. I'm not going to say if we're in those.
Obviously, we're in that. We put every player on the trade block except 2.
Yes, that is correct. And the only offers we got were for Dameon Pierce, which unfortunately would leave us Jerick McKinnon and Rico Dowdle as our running backs.
Do we drop Deuce? Did we get rid of Deuce?
We dropped Deuce. Deuce has done nothing.
Yeah,
he's
good.
been Deuce for us.
He has been. It's embarrassing when we drafted him, but that's
it's all we could afford at the time. Definitely embarrassing. But yeah, shout out to everybody. It's 3-0 in that league. It's never over till it's over. Speaking of 0-3.
Well, first I need to backtrack here.
Go ahead.
If you are in our listener league and you're listening, please look at the trade block. We are willing to give away pretty much anybody on our team. We need to make a trade. We're gonna start. We just need to get in there.
We can't get weaker at running back.
No,
though.
you can't.
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
But we do have Patrick Mahomes, so somebody's got to need a better quarterback out there. Looking at you, FF Bourbon Dude. But anyways, shout out to the chat. If you're just listening on the podcast platform, make sure you head on over to YouTube, join the chat if you can. Philly Mike OG says, "What's up? I asked questions last week about my Superflex. Have Stroud, Jimmy G, and Dobbs with Rodgers out.
I have an answer for you.
Currently 2-1. Jimmy G helped me and Josh Dobbs. LOL. Well, he didn't ask a question. Just letting us know. But what were you going to say? Were you going to tout Stroud?
Well, Stroud, but this week, if you were, I missed this. Never mind. Never mind. It's been a week. We just got done saying how much it's been a week. Just ignore me.
And the family checking in. Mom says that the family league is going to be crazy for us too. It is, because you had your first win last week. I had my first win last week. So neither one of us wants to go 1-3.
No, we're competing for the 2-2. Deuces.
Oh, Philly Mike says, should I trade one or start these guys? Start Jimmy G and start CJ Stroud, in my opinion, this week.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is I'll answer that question. I think with both of those, I have something to say about Jimmy G and Dobbs.
Yeah. Got offered Winston. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be too anxious to get Winston. It sounds like Derek Carr is only going to miss a couple of weeks. So there is that. And yeah, I like to keep 3 quarterbacks. So Stroud, Jimmy G, and Josh Dobbs. I think those 3, as crazy as it sounds right now, Dobbs has been pretty competitive. So yeah. Anyways, I know what I was getting at before you said backtracking here. If you're 0-3, like we are in the listener league, you might be feeling like this. And make sure, again, if you're listening, we're going to play a video. I'm going to cut it out for the actual just listeners so that you don't have to just hear what's going on, because you might not understand it. But head on over to YouTube and check the video out that I played. I think you'll enjoy it.
All I can do right now is put on a brave face and go out there and be their leader.
It's over. We are screwed.
That's exactly kind of how I feel in the listener league now.
The office is so near and dear to my heart.
Yes. And then real quick, before we talk about injuries and whiskey and start sits, Andrew says, would y'all start Sutton over Pickens this week? I absolutely would. That Bears defense is terrible, and that's coming from a Bears fan. Eddie Jackson did not practice today. I think they have some other cornerbacks that might miss the game, and that defense is just terrible. So I would start Cortland Sutton to play against the Bears. And would you sell Derrick Henry right now? I have a few offers, but they're horrible. I might look to move on him because he's not been as efficient, but I wouldn't take nothing for him. I would still treat him as a higher valued player. Agreed?
I would agree. Treat him as not necessarily a step, but treat him as you would
an
elite player. Almost.
Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, he's always in games. It seems like there's always going to be games where he runs off 15, 20 points or whatever.
And with all the questions, and especially trading players like Derrick Henry, we're only 3 games in. We're starting to see trending, but we're still only three games in. I always feel like around week 4 to week 5, we definitely, when we're tracking all these trends, we're definitely seeing, okay, this is the pattern. We finally have patterns.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that
seeing
first quarter of the season, or you got to really look at that first quarter of the season. Yeah, agreed. Why don't we go ahead and talk about the whiskey we're drinking?
I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I made a killer old.
I'll do it for you. It is quite good. I'm gonna give a lot of the credit to the whiskey.
The whiskey, to the bourbon Dana Ronha.
Yes.
We had, if you caught our show yesterday, We had Driftless Glenn on, CEO Renee. I don't want to mispronounce the last name.
Renee.
Okay, well, fine. Renee. We had Renee on the show with us. It was such a fun time.
Yes, it was.
And their whiskey is phenomenal. The bourbon was very good. It was a complex bourbon. Their mash bill is unique in my opinion. It's not being a bourbon, it is majority corn, but they also have, I can't remember the exact amounts, but at least 20 and 20.
60 20 20. 60 corn, 20 rye, 20 malted
Yep,
barley.
Thank you. And that just,
See,
I could just pick out
I'm a
all kinds
thinker.
of flavors in it. It was good. But as good as their bourbon was, what we're having in our old fashioned today. Can you grab the bottle behind you?
Sure.
So I'm going to put this up here for everybody. I believe you can only get this. Thank you. I believe you can only get this at the distillery. It is a limited release, and it is the Bourbon de Naranja. And they took their bourbon and they finished it in Naranja casks.
Yes. Yeah.
And from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
No, Naranja sherry. Sorry.
Orange infused sherry barrels.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for
got to be specific here.
Yes, thank you for correcting me and getting all technical on me. But it's amazing. You drink it and it's good, and then boom, the Naranja sherry gets you, but it's not overpowering. This is a favorite of mine. I need to find out how we can get more bottles of this because I want people to try this, but I also want to have it for myself. And you can only do both so much.
Right.
So
yeah.
But this is good. And we asked Renee was kind enough to send over I'm bothering you with all my noises to send over the recipe that they do for the old fashions at their restaurant at the distillery. And their recipe looks phenomenal. I just don't have all the ingredients in it, and I don't make my own. They make a lot of vinegars at the distillery that they use in their cocktails, and that is like, it sounds good. The different combinations they come up with, and this had a cherry balsamic
vinegar.
In it. I don't have that, and I did put spiced cherry bitters in ours with the orange bitters. They have a simple syrup. What?
Sorry, just listeners noticing Philly Mike says limited release. 5 minutes later, you dropped the bottle, and he got that bottle back for safety. Yeah, absolutely. See all your questions coming in. We will get to those. Don't worry. Stick around with us. We will get to those.
Yeah. So it's a little different than theirs. I did what I could, but we made our own brown sugar simple syrup for last week's old fashioned, and I used that. It just all complements each other, and
for sure.
Bourbon is so good. If you can get your hands on a bottle of that, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Before we get to the injury report and then to your questions, got to let you know we're brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. And maybe you're going to take you just heard about this awesome whiskey in Baraboo, Wisconsin. You decide, you know what? I want to make my way to Wisconsin. So you go to the distillery and you want to see a show. You ain't got tickets to it. No problem. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you with killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you're going to have. One of my favorite things is you get images of your seat view. No surprises. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals, not flash deals on football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Plus, they offer a guarantee that if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, they credit you 110% of the difference. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're set. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account and redeem CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. And from now until October 4th, Underdog is matching 100% of first deposits up to $500. Also, $100,000 Sundays continues on Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to $2 million in prizes all season long. There are 100,000 in prizes this week, 10,000 to 10 people this week as well. There are also new sweepstakes every week of the NFL season.
Yeah, and if you want to go on there and take a play today for tonight's games, I would take higher on Sam Laporta's receptions and Luke Musgrave's receptions. I think the tight ends are going to be involved early and often. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. All righty, real quick, why don't we go over just a couple injuries here before we get to your questions? There's not a lot. I mean, we talked about Derek Carr is going to be out, but tonight there's some guys coming back.
David Montgomery is back. Aaron Jones is back. Christian Watson is making his season debut and back.
Yeah, yep. And Eckler and Barkley both have been dealing with ankle sprains. They were limited, so we still have to wait and see, but they're trending towards playing, and that's important because I have a league with both of those guys.
Yes. And Bryce Young, he was expected to miss another week, but it looks like he might be playing. I don't think they should play him, though.
I don't either. Andy Dalton looked good. Andy Dalton
So
looked
weird.
efficient.
I know.
Granted, he threw it 58 flipping times, but he looked good. So I just noticed I got off here. I'm finding it. Don't worry. There we go. We're back.
What'd you do?
There we go. I had on the wrong injury report. I had it on the injury report from our Monday show. So it showed the studs and duds and all that waiver wire. We're not covering that today. I'm not feeling the best. So I think it's starting to affect me a little bit.
Keep it over there.
Keep it over there. I will try. We got a slew of comments to go through.
Yes, let's start. What
So
do we got?
All right. 1 second here. All right. So THXNDR, I was going to say Thunder, then Thanksender. Rank these Gibbs, Kamara, Nakua for a start. Jahmyr Gibbs has been disappointing this year so far. I've seen a lot of memes of people posting like they're going to continue being hurt by Jahmyr Gibbs by continuing to play him. And I completely understand that, but I would hold my expectations back for the fact that David Montgomery is back. And when David Montgomery was healthy, he seemed to be their go-to, the guy that got the ball early and often. I think Alvin Kamara is going to eat. I don't know what you think. But back from that suspension, you got to know he's hungry to play.
I have him in a couple leagues, and I'm anxious.
Yeah. And then Puka Nakua, I know he had kind of a bad game, but I like Nakua. I like Nakua a lot. So for me, I would go Kamara and Puka, but also, full disclosure, I have been against Gibbs since before fantasy football drafts.
I have been for Gibbs.
And so far, I've been on kind of the right side of that. Oh, look at the sigh. I'm going to bring up his stats here.
Bring up his stats. I was looking over here too.
Well, I don't have our stat sheet updated. I've been slacking.
It's not fully updated.
It has been a very busy week.
I have enough to get me by here, but I'm not going to tell you you're right. I'm just going to say that I don't think he is living up to my expectations.
7.0, 9.1, and 8.7 in half PPR leagues. They also play the Packers, who have actually been very good against stopping running backs from scoring touchdowns. So I would not start him this week if it was me.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, I like Kamara against the Bucks and Puka. I love Puka against the Colts. Philly Mike OG says D Monty or Gibbs. This is tough because I don't know how healthy Montgomery is, but I assume since they're playing him that he's good to go. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to rush him back. It's not like he's a star player. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not a star player that they depend on to get a win. So I got to imagine he's healthy. I'm going with Montgomery. What about you? Are you sticking to your Gibbs love?
I feel like with how Gibbs has been, I would give Montgomery a chance.
Yeah. So just to recap, that first week when Montgomery was healthy, he had 21 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. And then second week, 16 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. He's definitely getting their red zone looks.
He is.
And I think he's getting more carries. They're using Gibbs more as a pass catching guy. So I like Montgomery there.
I do.
Okay. Moving right along, AS says need 3 half PPR: Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, DeAndre Hopkins. Do you want to lead or you want me to lead? It's Amari Cooper, Christian Watson making his season debut, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, and DeAndre Hopkins. I don't trust DeAndre Hopkins farther than I can throw a giant rock. I don't know, throw our car. Something I'm not trusting him right now.
I wanted to pull up. Do you have his stats from last week?
I can pull it up right here. Sorry, we're running a little behind because we usually have our stat sheet updated. So here's Zay Flowers last week: 10 targets, 8 catches for 48 yards. The week before that, 5 targets, 4 catches, 62 yards. Week 1, 10 targets, 9 receptions, 78 yards. Flowers has been fairly consistent. They play the Browns, which is they might give them trouble defensively. That Browns defense is good.
I know. And I was going to say I'm kind of hesitant to start him this week.
Yeah. Okay. So you're hesitant to start Zay Flowers. I'm hesitant to start Amari Cooper in that game, but Watson goes to him very often. So I think you got to play him. And I like Christian Watson coming back.
You do?
I do. I think Christian
Godwin?
Well, there's 3. We can pick 3 of them.
Okay, I was going to say Godwin.
Godwin. All right. So we're benching Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins. I know it's hard to bench Hopkins, but I just don't trust him with Tannehill throwing the ball. They've not been on the same page. Luca says start 2 half PPR: Josh Downs, Brandon Cooks, Rico Dowdle, and Josh Reynolds. Ouch. Josh Reynolds put up a goose egg last week, and I actually should have said it on here, but I didn't. I told our buddy Nick not to play him. I said, he's very notorious for having 2, maybe 3 good weeks and then disappearing. That's exactly what he did last week. I'm gonna lead here and say Josh Downs and Rico Dowdle. I think the Cowboys are going to continue to get Rico involved in that offense. You can't run Tony Pollard 20 times a game. I don't think he's going to hold up. So I like Rico. RD wants to know, can he ask you questions about the league he played you in last week? I'm assuming he must have beat you if he's asking you questions.
Okay.
For a while. Okay. Ask your question away. All right. Ball's the GOAT. 12-man full PPR. Our team is Mahomes, ETN, David Montgomery, Jamar Chase, Christian Watson, TJ Hawkinson, Tyler Lockett, Puka Nacua, Tyler Algier, Samaje Perine, Kenneth Gainwell, Kareem Hunt, and Quentin Johnson. I know that was a lot, but should I trade Hawkinson and Lockett for Bijan and Njoku? I wouldn't. I like having the elite tight end in TJ Hawkinson, if I'm being honest. I don't think David Njoku is going to match up with him. And I know ETN hasn't been as much as you wanted. You probably want more depth than David Montgomery and Algier. I just don't know if I'd get rid of.
I don't think I could get
Hawkinson.
rid of Hawkinson.
No.
That's the
All
thing
right.
on that one for me.
We're on the same page there.
It is hard to get. He is consistent.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not really talking to my mic. He is
talking to your mic.
consistent. And he's an elite tight end in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know. You can't. Who else do you have at tight end, I guess?
There's nobody else listed at tight end. So he would be getting Njoku back. David Njoku of the Browns. I don't like that trade-off. So I would keep Hawkinson. Have we tried DFS Showdown? I've done DFS Showdown. I'd have to do it in one of the leagues I'm in. It's the secret league that I can't really talk about. I know that sounds weird, but it'll make sense someday. But we have to do DFS Showdowns on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday for specific reasons that I cannot disclose. So I've been doing those. I've been doing all right in them, actually. There's a couple weeks that I've been in the top 5 there. So, all right, moving right along. You guys are asking a bunch of questions, and we love it.
I love it.
14-man, half PPR. 14 teams is always tough. Need to flex one. Jaden Reed, Josh Downs, Kenny Gainwell. I want to start Reed, but Christian Watson back. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to look either with Christian Watson back. But I do like Love's connection with Jaden Reed. They've seemed to really been on the same page. So I think I think you got to go that way. I think they're going to have to throw the ball against the Lions. This is going to be a weird game, really. Typing in the wrong names here. Jaden Reed, let's look at his target share.
Yeah, I was looking for.
So the targets week 1 through 3, 5, 8, and 7. Now week 2, of course, he had those 2 touchdowns. But I don't know if I trust Josh Downs or Kenny Gainwell now that DeAndre Swift has really taken over that backfield. So I think your best bet's to go with Jaden Reed myself. Mike 32, 18-team league, half PPR, got offered Jamar Chase to send Kenneth Walker and Amari Cooper. Still have CMC, Saquon Barkley, Zach Moss, B-Rob, Javonte at running back. I have Burrow, so this would give me the quarterback wide receiver stack. Yeah, I would absolutely take that to get Chase. I don't think you're losing that much in shipping Kenneth Walker and Amari Cooper in order to get Jamar Chase. I would take that. He's also kind of.
How did you get those running?
Well, it's 8-team league.
Oh,
so
18.
Yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry.
Maxwell says 2 running backs, 1 flex, and full PPR. I have James Cook, ETN, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, Raheem Mostert. My boy wants to get rid of Derrick Henry. What would you give up? Is he done for? I don't think he's done for, but I would for sure keep James Cook and DeAndre Swift. I think Swift is starting to look really good in that Eagles offense. They're going to continue to run him, and they're the best running team in the league. It's hard to get rid of Travis Etienne, but I don't know if somebody would move for Sanders and Mostert. Do you think somebody would trade Derrick Henry for Miles Sanders and Raheem Mostert?
I don't.
I mean, I would try that. Would you try that for Henry? Miles Sanders and those Panthers haven't looked. I thought he was going to dominate this year, but he hasn't looked as dominant as I expected. Raheem Mostert, hard to get rid of because of how good those Dolphins looked, but I think they're going to keep getting Devin Achane involved. So I don't know. Throw out Sanders and Mostert, see what they say to see if you get Derrick Henry. And if Derrick Henry doesn't come back to his dominant form, you still have.
I don't think he's. I think
you don't think he's cooked, right?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. That's
personally.
That's what I would do. Hey, would you trade Pacheco and Michael Thomas for AJ Brown if my only other running backs are Breece Hall and Achane and Jonathan Taylor? Oh, there's so much controversy around that Jonathan Taylor thing. Now they're saying that they don't know if he wants to play for the Colts at all. And if neither side will budge, he could just sit out all year.
Sit on
which did not work well for Le'Veon Bell, if everybody remembers. Maybe he needs to call up Le'Veon and ask his experience because it did not work well.
No.
But I love getting A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
I think you can probably do another trade later or work the waivers to have a running back that can replace the value you might lose by getting rid of Pacheco just to get A.J. Brown. I like that. AS says I didn't even pick 3. Let me go back.
Okay. Sorry.
There's
a lot. Hang on.
Amari Cooper, we did. Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, and Chris Godwin. I said to sit Flowers and Hopkins. Sorry, we probably went through it a little fast. Oh, Maxwell Majors got our back there. Cooper, Godwin, Watson. Kyle B says Roschon Johnson, Jerome Ford, Devin Achane, and Montgomery pick 2 in PPR. Jerome Ford, you're thinking? It's a tough Ravens defense he does face.
I guess.
I'm so sold on David Montgomery.
I think Montgomery is. I think as long as he's.
I said from the beginning of the season he was going to do better
than
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I've heard this so much from you.
And it's hard not to take a chain right now.
And Roschon Johnson, we
don't know what the Bears are going to do.
I know, and I'm going to actually talk about him later. But with
these options,
yeah, I would maybe
sit him.
Mm-hmm.
So what of the other?
Because he is looking like Roschon Johnson is looking like the dominant pass catching back for the Bears.
Yeah,
but we have been so shitty. It is so painful watching us, and
it has been painful.
And I just don't know.
As Bears fans, it's been very painful. I like Devin Achane. I think he's a legit player, and David Montgomery. I think they continue to get Devin Achane involved after he had 18 carries for 208 yards.
You would start him over Ford?
I'm not big on Ford.
Can you explain it?
Yeah.
Like explain
Besides
it again, even because he's still like
besides his
we got
69-yard run, he
right.
had 2.5 yards per carry after Nick Chubb went out. And then last week, 10. I know it's a tough Tennessee defense, but 10 carries for 18 yards, 1.8 yards per carry. I do not believe in Jerome Ford.
Okay, I get it. And I even got into an argument about this that his yards per carry are low, but he gets a lot.
Yeah.
And
I still
had
like
a-
Montgomery in a chain.
he had let me see here. Points per he had 2 catches and a receiving touchdown.
I know he's not going to keep getting these 2 touchdown
and 33
games though.
receiving yards.
There's got to be some regression there, right? Because he had in week 2 after he came in, he had clicked the wrong thing. He had, I guess, just 1 touchdown that day, and then he had 2 touchdowns. I just don't think he keeps getting in the end zone. There's at some point that's going to break, and then you're going to be stuck with 10 carries for 18 yards. You know, am I convincing you or no? Looks like we're torn on.
He's still
Ford.
gonna. He is still a pass catching back.
Are
He's
you
gonna
are
catch
you
passes.
taking him over Montgomery or a chain?
I don't. The thing about Devin, he looked great, and I know that he was getting touchdowns before that game was completely blown up.
But it
You know
was
what I mean?
against a very shitty Broncos
It
defense.
was, and I just like you're not going to see that again. You're not going to see him get 50 points again. It's not going to happen.
Yep. Agreed. No, I wouldn't have that expectation.
No, but I feel like
so it sounds
I've done
like
that. I've just been in this place before.
just to answer this one, I feel like you're leaning Ford Montgomery.
I am kind of leaning that
and
way.
I'm leaning a chain Montgomery. I know that leaves you with a split answer, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're disagreeing here.
You're gonna have to see which one of us you agree with.
And the thing about like Rashawn, you just said like Miami went up against a really. I talk with my hands.
I know you're hitting the desk.
Okay.
Over. No, calm down.
We're like you're making me feisty. So Rashawn, like they go up against. I'm hitting the desk again, Justin. They go up against a horrible Broncos defense, but I still don't know. Like all of these guys, you could make arguments for starting any of them.
Yeah. Also in the chat, when you see other people's questions, feel free to throw your opinion out. Our kind of dream here, our goal here is that every Thursday you can come here, jump in the chat and talk with all these people that are in here and get multiple opinions to help you decide, kind of build a fantasy community, if you will. I think that would just be freaking sweet. So feel free to answer other people's questions, even if you don't agree with us. I'm perfectly fine with that. I love the conversation, and not everybody's going to have the same answer anyways. Special K cannot decide between these mid quarterbacks, start Jordan Love or Danny Dimes. That is definitely difficult. Dare I say, start Jordan Love.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
I don't know if
until Dan. Yeah. Until
he's Daniel right now. Yes. He's not Dan. He's Daniel.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Until Daniel Jones can become Dan Jones or DJ again, or Danny Dimes, he's on a timeout.
They're struggling.
Yeah, they are.
And Jordan Love has looked
pretty good. I did see though
coming out of my mouth.
I did see though this kind of, at least it can bring us a little joy as Bears fans. He leads the league in uncatchable throws, with like 34% of his throws are uncatchable. However, the bad thing about that is, with how good he's actually looked, if he fixes that by just a little bit and gets more towards the average of quarterbacks, they're going to have another good quarterback. And as a Bears fan, it just pisses me off.
He has been super consistent. And I think you can
start Jordan
Love.
King Trill, should I start Goff or Lamar Jackson this week? I'd start Lamar because I think he's going to get a lot of rushing yards. I know he's not been the elite quarterback everybody probably thought.
He's still a top 10 right now.
Yeah, I think he's going to get rushing yards, though. That Browns defense is going to pressure him so badly, and that's going to cause him to run the ball a lot. Philly Mike OG, showdown captain, Khalif Raymond, Devontae Wicks, or defense or kicker? Or should I play it safe and choose Musgrave or Amon-Ra or even Jordan Love? I took Sam Laporta. In the league that I have to do the DFS showdown thing, I took Sam Laporta as my captain. I just liked the price of him, and I think he's going to do well. So let's see. Connor says CMC for Herbert, CD, and Jacobs. It's a 6-person league. First time doing fantasy. I have Eckler to fill his spot. That's a lot to get back, but I don't know if I would part with CMC.
I'm not partnering with him. I am out on Herbert. I just traded him, got rid of him. I offed him from my team.
I'm sure this is Justin Herbert, not Khalil. Oh.
I'm thinking running backs because of CMC.
I know. Maybe it is Khalil, but I think it's probably
Herbert.
Well, he listed Herbert, CD, and then Jacobs. So I'm sure it's Justin Herbert, CD Lamb, and Josh Jacobs.
Okay, well,
that's my guess. But yes, you did just pawn Khalil Herbert
I'm
off.
Thinking
to
of
me,
my recent trades.
Yes, to me,
Herbert,
we got called out on
Herbert.
collusion right away, but I think it was a pretty good trade.
It was even. It was fair.
Yeah, I agree with Maxwell. Thanks for chiming in here, Maxwell. He says, what's the rest of your team look like? I'd have a tough time parting with CMC. And Connor did confirm it is Justin Herbert.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
There's
hard.
Other Herberts.
It would be hard for me to part with CMC as well. One last question before we get to our stardoms. RFAC half PPR pick 1, Aaron Jones, who could be on a snap count, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Tyler Lockett. I am so on the tank train. I am very much on the tank train.
I am so pissed in our fab leagues, our high fab, where you have $1,000.
People have been going crazy.
Not doing it right. I thought I would throw out 50% of my fab for somebody this week. But with the 2 waivers I had in, it was more than 50% of my fab, and I still only got I got Tank Dell, which is fine.
And who was the other one you were going for?
I had
Joshua Palmer with your $250 bid that got outbid by $304 by me.
Probably. Yes.
I lost out.
I didn't even
check
to
many
see
leagues.
who I looked yesterday. Yesterday was a crazy day for me.
Yeah, RFAC. I'm locking in Tank Dell. I just love what I've seen from him. I love the connection he and Stroud has. And I know they're going to.
Stroud.
The only thing is that's the Monday night game, and the Texans might be down 2 of their tackles. That does scare me. I just remembered that. But
I still think.
Yeah, I agree with you. Adams and Jacoby went off on the Steelers secondary. Yeah, I think Tank's a good way to go. One more, and we'll do our starts. Whoops. Oh, and Maxwell's going more over Dubs for this question. Romeo Dubs or DJ Moore at flex. The Bears got to get it right eventually, right? And the Broncos suck. We just saw them have 70 points put up on them. I'm sure they're pissed about that, but can they do anything about it? Do they have the talent to do anything about it? I'm going with the number 1 wide receiver here. The guy that, as his quarterback, just got literally punched in the head, showing some signs of potential concussion, trying to go back in the lineup, and DJ Moore says, no, man, get out of here, and pulled him out. That's the leader you want. Fields is going to appreciate that when he watched it on film, and he's going to feed him this week.
Maybe. That's a theory, Justin. I think the Bears are – I just think our offense is probably pissed. And there's just so much going on with the Bears organization right now, and it's clearly impacting things. I don't know. But I can't every week, Justin, do we not do this every week? We're like, after every game, we're like, I don't even, I'm giving up on our season.
I know.
We're done with the season.
But I still think we're going to move the ball.
But then every week we're like,
week.
no, we can do it this week. We can do it this week.
It's the Broncos, the 0-3 Broncos. The loser of this game has to go to the XFL and the St. Louis Battlehawks replace them. Well, maybe that's not true, but shout out to the XFL and USFL merging. Let's talk a little bit about starts. And I'm going to start with, we had a rough week last week, so maybe you don't want to take our advice and you want to sit in here and argue with us. We're cool with that too. We can take it, but
sorry. Continue.
Can you focus here for a second and worry about your trade later? Anyways, I just want to tout our best start call and our best sit call because there wasn't a lot to tout. However, we said start Sam Laporta, who was projected 7.3 points. You actually said he's going to get a touchdown. He got a touchdown.
Sam Laporta looked amazing.
He did. He's starting to look
it made
really
me
good.
Excited. Like for
the Lions.
I have said since preseason, since before, like I just know Sam Laporta is going to be an elite tight end. I didn't think it was going to happen this year. My prediction is next year.
Right.
It's going to be his year. But he is looking good so far.
Absolutely.
And it's making me pretty excited. I picked him up where I could.
Yeah. Anyways, he finished with 18.4. And also, we said sit T. Higgins. Joe Burrow isn't healthy. That offense isn't going to look right. And they didn't for the most part of the game. They ended up putting together a couple late half drives, but not with T. Higgins pulling the weight. He was projected 11.9, finished with 4.1. So those were our biggest calls, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So should we start about tots? Starts? Yeah. Or tots. I want some tater tots. I'm hungry. Let's talk about some starts. Who you got?
Oh, you're going to have comments on this. So.
Am I?
Yep. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Jimmy G.
Is not your lover.
Depending on who you have. But I would maybe consider starting Jimmy G this week. He has looked good throwing to Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. And the Raiders have actually moved the ball more in the air than on the ground. I think he continues to find success against a very bad Chargers defense.
Yeah. Jimmy's looked better than I ever expected he would for the Raiders, and it's just weird that they're almost relying on their passing game and not Josh Jacobs. That's weird to me. And Jacoby Myers has looked much better than I expected.
And so he's projected 18.1, and that seems high for Jimmy G.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to blow that number out of the water, but that number looks right. And I think you should consider starting him.
I can tell I'm not feeling well because I almost asked you how much fab. This is not our waiver show.
We are starting. The game is, there are games start.
I know.
A game starts tonight. Jesus.
I know.
Words too.
Words. Mine's going to be just as funny.
Okay.
Justin Fields. After an embarrassing loss to the Chiefs, after this terrible shit show of an offense that they have had, now they face the Broncos defense that just gave up 70 points. And yeah, I'm sure they're pissed that they did that. They were on a historic loss, but I think Fields is more pissed, and I think he's going to run all over them. I think he's going to stop listening to the coaches. He's going to look for his first read. When it's not there, he's going to take off and run. He's going over 100 yards.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We need him to start running again.
I'm talking to America here. I just wanted to remind you that I'm talking to America.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here. Excuse me. It's a 10-yard penalty and a long.
Just had to remind you, I'm talking to America here.
It doesn't get old.
I know. I love it. No, I think he goes for over 100 yards first time this season. We saw him do it several times last season where he just took off and did these amazing runs. I think he is going to have that effort. If I get hurt, I get hurt, but I'm going to go out playing my way and to start running all over because there are so many questions about him and his abilities right now. And he's looking at maybe trying to get his 5th-year option picked up. He needs to start looking better on the field, and he does that by playing his way, and that's running the ball.
All right, Justin. You've made your case.
You made my case.
Are you done talking to America?
I'm done talking to America. You can take over.
All right, I'm going to move on to running backs. And I mentioned earlier I was going to be talking about Rashawn Johnson. He is projected 10.2, and like we've both said, like I think the Bears are pissed and will want to make some big chunk plays. I already said it too. He's becoming their main pass catching back.
Yeah.
And he played a little less snaps than Khalil Herbert last week, but he had more touches. And that trend continues. Yeah,
absolutely. I like that play. I think we see him get in the end zone too. We'll see. That's a lot of touchdowns. I'm hoping
it's a lot of.
What are you doing?
I don't know, Justin. I am just antsy and all over the place.
Calm down over there. Good thing I put the bottle back there. I'll just move on to mine.
Why don't you?
I got Tyler Algier. The Falcons are going on the road in London. And I think last week they realized, which they should have known already, you don't win the game by passing the ball with Desmond Ridder. You win the game by running the damn ball. And yeah, Bijan's the guy, but these travel games to London, you always have that jet lag from that long trip. You've been excited because you go out and you see all the sights. Well, I think Bijan, the rookie, is going to be a little overwhelmed with all that. Plus, I think they're going to split this a little bit better because Bijan is going to be tired from that jet lag, and they want to keep him healthy. They want to keep everybody refreshed. So I think Tyler Algier is going to get more carries than we saw him get last week. Going to be more like week 1 where he had a very good game. And so I think he exceeds his 9.4.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
For wide receiver, I did want to say, obviously you're starting these guys if you have them, but it feels like the start of the week is Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers against that bad Chargers defense. I mean, it is bad. And I feel like those guys are going to eat. It's weird, but I think Las Vegas even has a chance to win that game. So anyways, who you got for a receiver?
Okay.
I wanted to throw that out there. Obviously people are starting them, but
I've been watching this one, waiting for some chemistry to happen. I saw it last week.
yeah.
Rashee Rice, he is currently projected 5.6. And I felt like Rice and Mahomes started having a nice connection last week. Yes, it was against a very bad Bears team, but he was targeted 7 times. They do play a tougher Jets defense. It's going to be tougher than playing against the Bears. I'm just going to throw that out there. But it's still Mahomes.
A little bit. Tougher by a little bit.
It's still Mahomes. I think he's going to continue to get Rice involved.
Yeah.
And it's what I'm hoping to see.
I like it. By the way,
I think he's definitely going to get more than that 5.6.
Yeah, no, I like that. I agree. I'm excited about Rashee Rice's potential. Saw questions rolling in. We are going to get those answered after our sit-ems. Still on the start-ems, I got Marvin Mims. There's a lot of buzz about Marvin Mims and the Broncos changing things up, especially after how bad things went last week. Our buddy DGen Eric is going to be excited about this one because he had his big hot take at our Fantasy Football Expo table at the Fantasy Football Hot Takes about Marvin Mims. But I think Mims is going to exceed this 6 against the Bears. The Bears are terrible on defense. And this week, Russell Wilson said Marvin Mims has no ceiling because he's that good. He has no ceiling. When you're a quarterback, a veteran quarterback that makes a statement like that, what do you want to do the next week? You want to make sure that you prove yourself right by saying that. So I think he's going to want to get him the ball. So 6 points seems too few against this bad Bears defense.
I would think that he would get more than that.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's blow through our tight ends. That didn't sound right. Let's talk about our tight end. Who's your tight end?
What's wrong with you? I have George Kittle for this start this week, and I feel like if you have Kittle, you are starting him. But he's projected 9.2, and I feel like normally if you have Kittle, you're starting him. He crossed over 9.2 for the first time last week. Prior to that, he had 4.9 and 6 points. The Cardinals allowed 9.8 points to Jake Ferguson. They let Walker go over 100 yards in week 2. They just aren't very good against tight ends.
Did you say Walker? Who's Walker?
Waller. They let Darren
I feel
Waller.
like as a household, we need to make sure we get more sleep.
My insomnia has been bad. I've
I
had
know
some
that.
insomnia the last couple weeks, and I am like,
Which means my insomnia has been bad because that's
you don't
how it
have
works.
insomnia. You're
No,
like, go
I
to
mean-
bed. You have chose to stay up with me. I've had so much on my mind. I'm just
good hubby
staying
award.
up.
We've also it's been a busy week because we had a concert on Tuesday. We had an extra pod with the Distiller interview on Wednesday, which is both
Work has
very
been-
fun.
Work
But
has been a lot, and
run you a
we
little
have
dry.
a garden that is blowing up in our face.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to be processing tomatoes tonight.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay,
George
sorry.
Kittle, I like it.
Obviously, I know Darren Waller is not Darren Walker.
Delaney Walker's back,
No.
everybody. Oh, no.
Anyway, he let Waller go over 100 yards, and I don't know. They're not good against tight ends.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
Kittle is better. I'm saying it. He's better than both Ferguson and Waller.
Agreed.
And I feel like he should be able to have a good week. You're probably like I said, you're probably starting him anyway, but just in case you have a lot of tight ends that you rostered,
Yeah.
I would start Kittle.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think he could be a stud on our studs and duds next week.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna laugh at mine. Everybody's gonna laugh at mine. That's okay. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, cue the laughter, projected 7.6. This is not a return of my Pitts passion from last year. I promise.
Is it going to be the return of your passion for him if he
No.
blows 7.6 out of the water?
No, I just think he has a chance. Here, this is the only reason I'm saying this. Last time the Pitts was in London.
Okay.
They play in London. Now, this was 2 years ago, his rookie year when he looked really good, not last year when he looked like dog shit. But
Or
in
this
London.
season while he's looked like dog shit.
Right. London, 9 catches, 119 yards, 1 touchdown. What if Pitt's magic is something that happens overseas in London, gets him back on track? He knows he had a good game there. His confidence is up, and they're going to have to move the ball on these Jacksonville Jaguars. So 7.6 points. Pitts is going to exceed it.
All right, Justin, I'm not starting Pitts.
You're not starting
Sorry.
Pitts. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't have Pitts. I have no shares of Pitts. Stayed away from that guy.
You got no Pitts, huh?
Got no Pitts.
I ain't got no Pitts. Anyways, let's talk about our sits real quick. Let's fly through them because I know we got questions to answer. Who you got a quarterback?
Josh Dobbs. He's only projected 12.8. I'm not saying he's for sure going to get less than 12.8, but like this feels, he's not going to get more. I don't see him getting more than 12.8.
Yeah.
I don't think you should start him unless you're desperate.
He has looked good. I just want to say that.
I know, but I just don't think this is the week. The 49ers have stopped quarterbacks all year long, minus a little bit of back and forth division rivalry with the Rams.
Yeah. Stafford, was able to move the ball.
They made Daniel Jones. Well, no, they turned Dan into Daniel. Let's just say that. He reverted to his Daniel Jones.
He looked amazing second half against the Cardinals, and then he faces the Niners and just looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
They made him look awful. And in my opinion, Dan Jones is better than Dobbs.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not looking like it, but he is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. My sit is Deshaun Watson. I realize that's hard to sit, but maybe it's my dislike or disbelief in him, which I have made very clear. But this Ravens defense is pretty good. I think they pressure him enough that he makes too many mistakes. And this feels just to me, I'm also on the NFL Gambling Podcast, and I made this case. The Browns looked great last week against the Tennessee Titans. They won by a lot. And this just feels like classic Browns, where they struggle to beat the Baltimore Ravens in a divisional game that they should win. So I'm going to say sit Deshaun Watson.
All right.
Who you got for running backs?
All right. Well, Derrick Henry. He is my running back.
Whoa, you just said he was not cooked.
I know. I don't think he is. He's projected 15.8, but I think
that seems high.
I just think it's going to be tougher for him to get there this week. You likely, if you have Derrick Henry, you likely can't bench him. If you have other options, though, I don't know. Cincinnati has a good defense. I just don't know if he gets going, especially if they get behind. The Titans team is usually better at home. Yeah. I just don't think he gets to the 15.8 this week. You're probably starting him, but just be ready if he doesn't get that 15.8. Or just be expecting him maybe not to get what he's projected.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure you're starting him, but don't expect him to get that. Don't count on it. I feel like to get 15.8, he's going to need a touchdown, and you just can't count on touchdowns right now with that Tennessee offense. I'm going to go Kyren Williams. I know everybody was so big on him. He came crashing back down to earth, just like I said he would. I just want to point that out there. I said he would. I saw the eye roll there.
I know.
Projected 16.5 points. He had 10 carries for 38 yards. That's 3.8 a carry, but only 10 carries, finished with some receptions, finished the day with 8.5 last week. That feels like what his normal score is going to be. He has looked very good because in the first 2 weeks, he had 2 touchdowns in each game. You can't depend on him getting 2 touchdowns each game. In fact, if you take those out, his scores would be 5.4, 14, and 8.5. That's why I think 8.5 is going to be kind of his average. Don't get me wrong here. I think the Rams are a good offense, but I think they're an offense that wants to throw the ball with Matt Stafford. I think Sean McVay wants to spread that ball around. They want to throw it. They want that air raid attack. So I'm not in love with Kyren Williams like so many people are. I said that right away, and I'm sticking to it. So I say to sit him.
All right. Ready to move on to
Yeah. And we, again, just if you're just joining us, we will get to all your questions soon. We got a bunch rolling in. So let's just
Look at that.
fly through these.
Okay. Wide receivers. Oh, wait. Yeah. You said fly through the rest of our sits?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
Sorry.
Just making sure you're clear in
Real
your
quick, though,
communication.
I have to do this real quick. I got to let you know that we're brought to you by VEASAN. Sign up now and save 40% off football season special when you use promo code SGP. VEASAN.com/subscribe, promo code SGP. Sean and Ryan are in a contest going head-to-head with other VEASAN shows to see who sells the most subscriptions. Now, the winning show gets a $1,000 Super Bowl future. Now, are they keeping that to themselves? Of course not. They're cutting you in on the prize if they win. Here's how you can get entered with that. Step 1, go to VEASAN.com/subscribe and use promo code SGP to sign up. Step 2, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/VEASAN to submit your proof of purchase. And if they win, you'll get to vote on what team to use your $1,000 Super Bowl future on. And if it hits, you get an equal piece of the action. Go to VEASAN.com/subscribe, use promo code SGP, then sportsgamblingpodcast.com VEASAN to submit. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Researching every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all parlays by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. And we're back. Hopefully we don't get fired for doing that a little bit late.
We're good, Justin.
We're supposed to get those in at certain times
I also
per the company.
want to
But
talk about my trade at some point.
all right, we'll do that in the Q&A. Let's go through our sit receivers. You want to kick us off?
Yes. Amon-Ra St. Brown is my sit receiver. He's projected 13.4. You likely can't bench this guy. I get it. I'm throwing out a lot of people you likely aren't going to bench. But I feel like he's going to struggle tonight. I think Laporta is starting to take a lot of his targets away. I think you're going to see I always butcher this. Jair. Thank you. I think you're going to see Jair Alexander cover him, and it could be a long night for Amon-Ra. And if he doesn't get a touchdown, I definitely don't think he's hitting the 13.4.
I agree with that. Actually, I think Packers are going to do a good job. He's going to need some big plays in order to get to that, and I don't know if it's going to be there. Just side note real quick, I know we're trying to fly through these, but if you see me drinking out of 2 cups, I feel my throat feels enough that I'm drinking a hot toddy too.
The old-fashioned wasn't enough.
I'm double fisting. I'm going to say George Pickens. He's projected 11.8. This Texans defense has played well, and they're at home, so they're going to be hyped up. They just pulled off a big upset over the Jaguars. Pickens has only gone over 11.8 once, and that was when he had a really long touchdown. So the Steelers offense has not looked all that impressive, to be honest. I know they put up some points last week, but they still haven't looked all that impressive to me. So I don't think he gets there.
All right. Moving on to tight ends.
Yeah, let's do it.
My sit tight end is not Darren Walker. Darren Waller, who is projected 8.8. This is another projection where Waller has only exceeded it once. He has 2 games of only 3 catches. The Giants have this is a struggling offense.
Yeah.
And if Barkley is back, I think that would help. But I just don't think that Waller has a great game against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I like it. I looked at others. Tight end lines aren't really set high. So I'm just going to go ahead and agree with you, but I'm also going to say don't start Delaney Walker.
I never said Delaney.
I know, but you said Walker. It's the only tight end I can think of that ends with the name Walker.
I don't know. At least it's a tight end.
Should we answer some questions here? We got a bunch of them, and I love it.
Do it.
All right. So let's see. I think we left off here. If I missed yours up above this one, please let me know. But Alex says start Jacoby Myers, Amari Cooper, or Tyler Lockett. I like Jacoby Myers. That Chargers defense is not good. And Jimmy G and Myers have been on the same page. So I like that one. It's King Ahmed says PPR start Jacoby Myers, T. Higgins, or Zach Moss. It's hard not to just say Jacoby Myers again.
Jacoby.
I do like Zach Moss. I think the Colts have done a really good job using him, but that Rams defense is better than they looked last week against the Bengals. So I think I got to go Jacoby on that one too. Normally I will go running backs over wide receivers in the flex, but yeah, I think Myers or Moss are a good one to go with. Flex Lord Chino. I like that name. That's fun. Would you trade away Tutu for Nico?
Okay,
Feels like a 50-50 trade.
I was just going to pull up and compare their stats because I have a lot of shares of Nico.
Who you got pulled up there?
I have Tutu.
All right, I'll pull up Nico. If this would refresh player
if you
data
don't,
here.
I will just do it for you.
Okay, sounds good.
But Tutu, he's been consistent.
Nico didn't have as good of a game last week.
No.
But I still think he's solid. I still think the Texans are going to move the ball. So we're looking at 14, 27.6, only 5.4. He only had 3 targets last week, but I still feel like that's more of an anomaly, an outlier. And I think Nico's going to be good. Tutu's good as well. I just like the Nico side, but it is pretty even in my opinion.
I think it's pretty even. I feel like Tutu's been more consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. What's he looking at targets? 899, does that say? You're moving it all around.
She's getting,
like, look at the targets, everybody.
He's getting, 899.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good amount of
His
target
yards
share.
his receptions and yards have gone down, but he had a touchdown last week. How many receptions?
Nico has been 6-7, then 2. He went down last week as well. Same, 6-7.
I think it's
4,
pretty,
right?
yeah.
I do think it's even.
Tutu hadn't gotten that touchdown last week, he would have done similar. It basically makes them pretty even. He just got a touchdown.
Yeah, I think you go with your gut. Which one you like more? Do you trust the Texans or do you trust the Rams?
I'm really liking how CJ Stroud is looking this year, though.
Absolutely. Leading the offensive rookie of the year race. Chidurnums says, should I start Jahmyr Gibbs or Cortland Sutton PPR, and should I start Jordan Love or Russell Wilson? I'm going to go Cortland Sutton against that bad Bears defense, and I'm going to go Jordan Love.
I was going to say, we talked about Jordan Love earlier. Yeah. He's just looking good. He has been super consistent, so I think you can rely on him.
Absolutely.
I haven't even Russ.
All right. Let's keep going here. Josiah Alvarado. Trey, you were on board with Cortland Sutton and Jordan Love, correct?
I am on board, yeah.
Okay. Josiah Alvarado says trade half-point PPR. Higgins for David Montgomery. I have Chase and Waddle already. My running backs are Achane, Rashad White, and Breece Hall. I like moving Higgins for Montgomery since you have Chase.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to start both of them each week. So, yeah. Well, I just mean being on the same team. Yeah, I like that. I would see if you could – maybe there's a better running back you can get for Higgins, because Higgins, even though he had a down game, is still a big name on an offense that when Joe Burrow's healthy moves the ball very well. So, but I still like it personally. Sober Money. Would you trade Jonathan Taylor for Zach Moss, DJ Chark, and Kenneth Gainwell in a redraft? My other running backs are Gibbs and Achane. This is so tough because we don't know if Jonathan Taylor's going to play.
He is so risky this year. It's just so risky. Yeah. And I don't know. What do you think the odds are of him playing?
Well, right now, from what I saw today, the feeling is that he does not want to play for the Colts at all. And if they are not willing to trade them, and we know their owner, Jim Irsay, is kind of a nutcase, and he will stick to, I'm not trading him. Even if it bites him in the ass, he will stick to that. So if neither side budges, he's not playing this year. And that's risky. But also, if he does play, he's still one of the most talented running backs in the league, which is probably why he should be paid, why Jim Irsay and the Colts should pay him or trade him to somebody to pay him. But, that's tough. I might make that trade. If you don't think he's going to play, I would trade that for sure. Because you get Zach Moss, who has looked good.
Yeah.
He's looked good in Jonathan Taylor's place. You have Jahmyr Gibbs and Devin Achane. You get Zach Moss and Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah, I don't know. That one has me stumped just because
It depends. Like, how are you doing this season? Like, or like so far?
You're betting
mean?
on if Taylor plays or not. That's all this is. You're
But
betting
if
on
he
it.
doesn't play, would you have wished that?
Oh yeah.
You made this
If he
trade.
doesn't play,
Yeah.
you would 100% wish you made this trade.
What if he doesn't play till? What if he doesn't play till like week 8? Would you still want to make this trade?
Right. Yeah, no, I think so. Even if he plays half into the season, you get half, or I guess not quite half, but close to half the season of Zach Moss. I think you like that trade. That's a really tough one, but Nick Fortune in the chat, I know he just moved from Jonathan Taylor because he doesn't trust that he's going to play. So other people are starting to move off of him. Connie Bowe, do I start Love or Fields at quarterback? Gosh, that's tough.
That is a tough one.
Fields is on my stardom because I think he's going to run
But I would start
rampant.
Jordan Love. I want Fields to run rampant, but coaching, like the coaches haven't let him do it. So
Right.
it would be him, which is just stupid. Explain that to me, Justin. Don't explain it. We don't have time for that. But
Explain this. Actually, never mind.
Love is so consistent, and I think
Yeah.
that he's gonna have a good game.
You
I
say
think
Love, I
that
say Fields. That's
Fields, if he runs, if he goes against what the coaches are telling him to do, or if the coaches pull their heads out of their ass, then fine.
I want Jim McMahon to call Justin Fields and say, don't give a shit about what those coaches are saying. Because I've seen the clips. I was a little young when McMahon was playing, but I've seen the clips of Dick basically having a heart attack on the sidelines because Jim McMahon doesn't listen to him, calls his own plays, and changes the plays and everything. And he didn't care. That's why they called him the punky QB. He didn't give a shit. That's what I want Fields to do. I want him to not care. I want him to be
start running when you have open. Start running. He is be such an elite quarterback if we would just let him unleash his talent.
I saw a thing today that made me think as a Bears fan, and it was the Bears. They were huddling, and Cutler was the quarterback. Matt Forte was the running back, and it said Bears fans never realized how good this team was. And if you look at everything after that, it's so true. When Cutler was at the helm, we were such a better offense.
You are in love with Jay Cutler.
I know, but we were
everything that you say about Jay Cutler.
If you think about it,
it was exciting.
Our offense was so much better.
When I became a full-on Bears fan, we had some good seasons with Cutler.
Yeah. Sports Spotlight says Aaron Jones is a start this week, right? Yeah, I don't think they're going to play him unless he's 100% healthy and ready to go. I actually don't even think he's going to be on a snap count because they're not in a, hey, we must win right now. I know it's a big game against the Lions, but it's not a like we're desperate for a win, which I think is why the Bengals played Joe Burrow this last Monday. I think they were desperate for a win. I don't think the Packers are in that spot. So if they're playing him, it's because he is healthy. Nick Fortune, how nice. Murr's making a nice comment about the 49ers D. Bean. Sorry, I had to try my Bean voice out because the name is Bean.
What are you doing?
Side note, I love Mr. Bean. Bean asks, Burrow or Winston?
Ugh.
Yeah. I think you got to go Burrow. You got to go with the talent there. I know he's not healthy, but it is the Jameis Winston revenge angle. Not only did he play for the Buccaneers, but that's who ended his season last year. That's who injured him.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
I think you
Jameis
got to go with
Winston,
Burrow.
Yeah, I think you have to and hope that he pulls it together.
Yeah. Scary Terry against those Eagles or George Pickens. Pickens is on my sit list, so I think I like Scary Terry. Justin, great name because it's Justin. That's the same as me. Hey, would you do Lamar or Love this year? Now, if you're talking about doing them, I wouldn't do either of them, but calm down over there.
This week.
And that's after 2 whiskey drinks right now because I had my old fashioned.
Meaning this week?
This week or just for rest of season, I would do Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Either way.
Unless Love, I don't know. To have a QB who can get you a solid 24 points every week.
We've made it big now. I think we got the trolls coming out. Do you recommend drafting Tom Brady? Only if you get points for announcing and good looks, because a lot of the ladies think he has those. Marcos Valdez got offered Ridley for Ayuk or Miles Sanders. Half PPR, has Pollard, Mostert, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sanders, and Jerome Ford at running back, A.J. Brown, Puka, Lockett, Ayuk, and Evans at wide receiver. Should I ship Ayuk or Sanders? I would do Sanders. What do you think?
Hang on. I have to reread.
Did I go through that too fast?
Well, I also got off. I always started thinking about Tom Brady conspiracies. So continue.
Okay. The trade is Calvin Ridley for either Brandon Ayuk or Miles Sanders. Okay.
Mhm.
It's a half PPR. For running backs, they have, if they got rid of Miles Sanders, they would still have Tony Pollard, Raheem Mostert, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jerome Ford.
Okay. Yes.
If they got rid of Ayuk, they would still have A.J. Brown, Puka, Lockett, and Mike Evans. This is a stacked team, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Calvin Ridley's going to bounce back and be one of the better wide receivers the rest of this year. So I would take it.
Mm-hmm.
I would go Miles Sanders. What do you think? Ayuk or Sanders? The problem, I guess, if you keep Ayuk is you're stuck with who do I start each week. But
I would go Sanders too.
Yep, Sanders.
I like Ayuk.
We answered that one. I see there's a couple questions that got repeated. Sorry, we did take a while to get to them. We just wanted to get through.
Is that another Tom Brady question?
Yeah.
What the
I was thinking of getting Tom Brady. Any thoughts or opinions on that? Yeah, don't. That's my thoughts and opinions. We answered Burrow or Winston.
There's another
Opinions on Brady as a differential option.
Can we just skip all these? Are clearly
Actually, you know what?
questions.
Yeah, do it. I was also looking at full send. I was also looking at Brady. Could be good in my opinion. Interested to hear what the folks think. Yeah, pick them up. I'm just gonna start start answering yes on all Tom Brady questions. Start Tua or Love. Bill's great against quarterbacks this year. I don't think you can sit Tua though. What do you think? Jalen Waddle's back.
You can't
Tyreek
sit.
Hill
No,
is a cheat code.
You start Tua. You
I
can't. I can't even imagine starting Love over Tua.
Yeah. I'm going to take a crack at your name.
Uh-uh.
I don't want to take a crack at it like in an offensive way. I just like to be able to say names. So I'm going to say Ibrahim. Tell me if I'm right or not, because I want to pronounce your name correctly. Brown-eyed girl selected Brady anyway. Think he'll score some decent points. What is happening, everybody? What is happening?
There's more. I don't know.
Brady or
Can
Wilson?
we not play them on
Brady
there?
over
we
Wilson?
We don't have to click on them, Justin. We don't have to show them.
It's too good though. How can I not? Here's one: Waller or Laporta. Laporta, 100%.
Laporta. Waller was on my sit list.
Yes, absolutely. I would definitely trade Jonathan Taylor for Tom Brady. PewDiePie. Cam says Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, Puka Nacua, 4T Higgins, AJ Brown, and Josh Jacobs. Is this a good trade? So Cooper, Deebo, Puka for Higgins, Brown, and Jacobs. The best player in this, in my opinion, is AJ Brown. Second best is Deebo. Third best is Jacobs. I take the trade.
Jacobs is still good.
Yeah.
That's a good trade.
I know he's been.
I think. Yeah.
The problem with Jacobs is, I don't know if you realize this, but I was getting ready to tell Nick Fortune this because he made a trade for him. He's averaged 2.4 yards per carry and 0 touchdowns.
Hold on.
Hold on, she says. Is it PPR, half PPR, non-PPR? You look at that. I'm going to move on to the next one. Pick 2 running backs to start. Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, or Kyron Williams. I say Aaron Jones. Now I'm stuck between Mixon and Montgomery. Mixon or Montgomery for you? Montgomery plays the Packers tonight, but the Packers have been decent against running backs, especially when it comes to scoring touchdowns. Joe Mixon and the Bengals play. I think the Tennessee Titans, who just held Jerome Ford to 10 carries for 18 yards.
And a touchdown.
Jones and Montgomery. That's my pick. Big sigh.
I know.
Listen to that big sigh.
I think I like that.
Yeah. Okay. More Tom Brady questions.
Tom Brady, get out of here.
Now that Brady has returned, is he a good maybe we missed a news
Dude,
flash.
what happened? Hold on. Are we making asses of ourselves?
No. Tom Brady did not come back.
I would have got a good communication.
RD says Ayuk, Jahmyr Gibbs, or Mike Evans asking for a friend. You got to go Big Mike all the way. Mike Evans has been great. So 100% Mike Evans. Brady. Jacob Johnson says, who would you rather have the rest of the season, Pittman or Metcalf? Anthony Richardson has looked good with Pittman, throwing to Pittman, but DK Metcalf is a physical freak, and Geno in that offense can move the ball well. I think Metcalf. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the better passing offense. Anthony Richardson's going to run for too many yards. Would you all rather start Luke Musgrave? This is from Brendan. Would you start Luke Musgrave or Dallas Goedert at tight end? Goddard has a tough matchup against the Commanders. It's hard to bench him because they've been getting on a better track here. And Musgrave, my gut was to say Musgrave, but I don't know how the offense is going to look now that Christian Watson is back.
Hang on. I have to look at numbers.
That's fine. You look at numbers. I'm thinking. Who are you looking up? I'll look up the other one for you. All right. I'll pull up Musgrave. Musgrave is the 10th ranked tight end. He's had 4 targets, 3 targets, 8 targets.
Oops.
50 yards has been his max. 6 receptions has been his max. Better than Goddard, it looks like. Goddard's had some more targets in week 2, but all right, go with Musgrave. Yeah. I do think that was my gut anyways.
I don't know. I was debating, but I feel like, I would go with.
My gut was Musgrave anyways, just because that Commanders defense is going to be tough on the Eagles. It's a division rivalry. Pacheco or Christian Watson at flex tonight. I like Watson. I think they want to get him back and involved. That's from Caner Games. Regier Productions. Who should I start? Goff or Justin
Fields.
A? I would assume that's Fields.
Oh. I'm assuming.
He retyped it. I'm sorry.
Fields.
Fields or Goff?
I know you're going to say Fields.
And you're going to say Goff, right? We already did this one, didn't we? But from a different person.
We didn't do Goff.
Did we love or Fields? Yeah, we did.
We did love. We didn't do Goff.
Right,
I was like, I haven't said anything about Goff today.
I'm going to say Fields. He's on my stardom list. He's going to run rampant. I'll say it again. He's going to run rampant on the Broncos. But who are you starting?
Hold on. Who's Goff?
Goff plays tonight against the Packers.
Oh, duh. I'm an idiot. It's like, wait a minute.
He is the 8th ranked. He's had 16, 28, 21.
Yeah.
You're going to say Goff because of that, aren't you?
I think Fields is a gamble. I'm just going to go back to saying Fields is a gamble.
Okay.
I think that what I think Fields could do is just more of a hope. I don't know if it's going to actually happen. Fields has more potential than Goff, but I just don't know if Fields is going to do it.
Yeah. Should I start David Montgomery or Miles Sanders, and why? I'm going to say David Montgomery because I think he's going to get the carries that warrant starting him this year or this week. And Miles Sanders and the Panthers play the Vikings. The way to beat the Vikings is through the air, so I think they're going to throw the ball more often. That's my why. Agree? Disagree?
I agree with you.
There's a first for everything. We got some more Brady questions.
Why? I thought that Tom Brady stopped. I was like, they made me Google. All these stupid Tom Brady comments made me Google Tom Brady.
Says more Brady content. Burrow or Goff tonight? From Flo. I'm going to go with Burrow. The Bengals against the Titans. They need to keep winning. You want to, but you want to go with Burrow, but you're going to go with Goff. You made that sound like you're going to go with Goff, though.
No, Burrow has just been challenging.
And RD wanted us to pick 2, so we're down to Ayuk or Gibbs. If Ayuk is playing, I'm picking Ayuk. I think he's questionable. I think he's training to play.
I do think Montgomery is going to get point. I think he's going to take any points, or not take any points, but he's going to take points away that you would have gotten from Gibbs. Yeah. Raiders
simping for the Raiders. Who are you going to start, Goff or Love tonight? Jordan Love, unfortunately for me. I'm a Bears fan. I hate saying that, but sorry, I'm looking down here. This is where our questions are, by the way. I just realized we're both looking
I know.
this
Well,
way
and you're over here for me, so I have to
All right, last question. 4-man full PPR. Choose 2. Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara. Also have Barkley if he's healthy. If Barkley plays, play him. Let's say he's not. I want to give you 2 options if he's not. I'm going Alvin Kamara.
Kamara.
And then do we want Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones? Because I am not picking Kyron Williams. Are you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Aaron Jones or Derrick Henry for you. The Titans do play the Bengals, which are a tough defense.
I know, but Henry was on my sit.
Henry was on your sit.
So was Williams. Williams
Yeah.
was your sit.
So Jones.
It's Jones.
Aaron Jones and Kamara, unless Barkley plays, then I would put Barkley in place of. Oh, that's tough. Alvin Kamara. What do you think? Are you starting Kamara and Barkley or Kamara and Jones? And Barkley and Jones.
Wait, what?
So I said play Barkley if he's healthy, no matter what. But as we're leading up, do you risk playing Jones tonight and then play Jones and Barkley and sit Kamara? It's so hard because Jones plays tonight and we don't know for sure if Barkley's playing. Sounds like he's going to, but we don't know.
So you mean if you play Jones tonight, then you sit Kamara if Barkley plays?
Yeah. I think that's the way to play it.
I think so, because that offense is.
Yep. I think that's the way to play it.
Him.
Raider Simp says, thank you. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to hit subscribe. That helps us. Thumbs up the video. Hit subscribe on our channel. Set your alerts. We're here every Thursday doing start sits. We are here every Monday doing waiver wires. And just like last night, every now and then we throw in some distiller interviews.
Wednesday with the distiller. Yeah. It was so much fun.
It was.
Go back and check it out if you haven't seen it. We had a lot of fun with Renee from Driftless Glen. Really good bourbon. And so good. We are going to be making a trip up there to Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Absolutely. You know, I did think worst case scenario, hopefully it comes sooner than this, but we do have a buddy getting married in August of next year in Wisconsin. So we could always make that part of the trip.
Long time to wait.
I know.
They might not have the limited release.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Be like, can you hold up till August for us, please?
We got to get in contact. We have to get a couple bottles. We can't just let the opportunity for this limited. She said, just so you know, if you don't go back and listen, I'm just going to give a little spoiler. This isn't really a spoiler.
But still go back and listen.
But she did say when they were getting the barrels of the Naranja Sherry, she was told by now, because there is a tequila company that was buying all of the Naranja Sherry barrels, and you won't be able to get them again. So they bought, and I don't think they're going to be able to get them again. And this is very disappointing because I love this bourbon.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we can buy some, get them to send it. We do know this awesome guy that owns a bar. His name is RD. He says, thank you for confirming his thoughts. Do you have anything else to add? Besides just go listen to the Driftless Glen or go drink some Driftless Glen, because that was some good bourbon juice.
No, this has been fun. Thank you, everybody, for all the questions.
Yeah, we love the questions. Hopefully we answered them correctly. If not, we're human. It's all opinionated anyways. So nothing else to add?
No.
How's your old fashioned over there?
It's gone.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Old-fashioned football.